All right. And how old are you?
Say that one more time.
How old are you?
35.
How old?
35.
Oh, okay. And how long have you been doing music for?
Man, I started doing music when I was probably like 10, 11. For real. Like actually starting to record stuff back in the day, recording songs on the radio on cassette tape. Like that's how far I go back.
All right. And when you first started writing, how did you feel at that time? And what kind of music was popping? And what kind of music were you doing?
When I first started writing for real, man, it was really in school, man. We started with poetry and then it kind of took its way into the music. I think like Eminem, Slim Shady, the Marshall Mathers LP was one of the first things I really listened to, and I was like, man, I think I could do that. And I remember kind of like writing my first little raps after that, and they were decent then. You know what I'm saying? Like I had okay wordplay for a 10, 11 year old. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, ever since then, I just been kind of honing my craft and getting better over the years.
Some big influences on you besides Eminem?
Uh, M,
No.
we had Biggie, we had Pac, Jay Z, Outkast, Goody Mob, you know what I'm saying? Phil Mob, those kind of guys, man. Because I'm from Atlanta, so you know a lot of Southern influence as well as some East Coast up top influence as well. Ludacris, you know what I'm saying? Nelly and all of them was popping during my days. You know that's kind of who was really
Okay.
getting the shine around those days. DMX, those dudes.
Gotcha. When did you start releasing music?
Uh, like officially, I'll say probably about like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years, right after I got out the military. Um, I started dropping more music in on the DSPs and stuff. But I think I really dropped my first like little CD back in the day, when I was like 17, 18 years old or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But like officially, it's been about 2 years.
All right. And you weren't writing at all, like younger in school at all? You were just focused on some other shit, or?
No, I was writing then. I was always writing as a kid. Like I said, it started with poetry mostly, and then it kind of worked its way over into the music. So like I've always had a skill for writing, whether it was music, whether it was poems, whether it was stories. I've always been writing as a kid. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that came naturally to me.
All right. And
I mean, it's just something I naturally gravitated to. Like English was always one of my best subjects in school, and I love putting words together, and I love putting words together that make you think. And poetry was like the perfect avenue to kind of do that. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just got it from going through school, and then just gained my own love for it.
so you were pretty much doing good in school. You had good grades and all that.
I was a decent student. Always been real smart. You know what I'm saying? I was an okay student. You know what I'm saying? I passed, graduated. I got a high school diploma, all that. School was never really difficult. If anything, it was more like boring. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't challenging enough sometimes. And then, life is life. So, things interfere. Sometimes the grades are good, sometimes grades bad, but an average student overall.
All right. And you wouldn't say that you were a problem child, or you would get into any like
Nah. Nah, I
situations
mean,
with the law?
I've been jammed up a time or two here and there, you know what I'm saying? But like not on no like on no wild stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like some overnighters, you know what I'm saying, a couple days here and there, but I stay low key. I lived a pretty wild life, a pretty adventurous life. I've been through some shit, but for the most part, um, I don't I stay away from the law, and when I move smart. You know what I'm saying? So not too many run-ins with the law. Like I said, some one on and off situations, but that's about it.
Okay. And are you the only one that pretty much raps in your city that, or do you have any like a crew around you that also raps?
Well, I had my brother, rest his soul. You know what I'm saying? Long live KG. My brother just died. That was my boy. You know what I'm saying? He was the one that I did all my rap shit with. He was the one I freestyle with. You know what I'm saying? He's the one I go back and forth with. He's the one I send all my music to. Like I said, I'm from Atlanta. I live in Colorado now, so I don't really have a crew out here in Colorado. So I'm kind of on my solo artist tip out here in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? Just getting used to the scene out here.
All right. And why did you move to Colorado?
Just a change, man. Me and my wife, once we got out the army, we were looking for a change. You know what I'm saying? We were living in North Carolina, and I was like, man, let's get out the South. Let's go do something different. And we were, looking all over, and we looked up, Midwest, and Colorado seemed to fit all our needs, so we came out here.
Do you feel like Colorado's still on the same wave as Atlanta, like with music?
Nah, man, and that's not to say that Colorado got a bad music scene because they got a decent music scene out here. You know what I'm saying? Like I just had a show last month in Denver at your mom's house. It's a bar you call your mom's house in Denver, and I performed with some dudes that are pretty nice. But it's way different than the scene in Atlanta, just sound wise. You know what I'm saying? It's they live a different life up here. So while the content can be the same, the sound of the music, and I think that the popularity that the music gets is way different.
All right. And did you end up changing your sound because of that, or are you still on the same like wave?
I'm still on the same wave, man. But I have my own sound, and I'm versatile. As I can do a couple different things. I'm not stuck in one place, and I'm not trying to sound like anybody else or imitate anybody else. So my sound has pretty much stayed consistent with how it's always been. Um, you know, outside of my own personal growth.
Oh, okay. And take us through your writing process from start to finish.
Oh man, it can vary. Most of the time, I'll come down here, sit in front of the stew, turn the computer on. I'll scroll through beats, whether that be YouTube, whether that be Beat Stars, whether I got some packs and stuff that some homies have sent me or whatever, and I'll go through the beats and I kind of just let the beats talk to me, man, and pull out whatever emotion that it is, that the song is calling for. And sometimes I sit down and I write with my pen and pad, and I write with my phone, and then sometimes I just get behind the mic and I just punch in, bro, and just let the words come to me like I'm freestyling essentially. My brother joke about it. He was like, "Oh, you think you Wayne, huh?" And it's not like that. But sometimes, getting that raw emotion off in front of the microphone rather than having to sit in front of a pen and a pad. So it varies from time to time.
You have your own studio.
Yeah, I do. I do. I've got some decent equipment, some hardware, a bunch of software. I'm also a student as well, so I go to Full Sail, and I'm an audio production student as well. So yeah, I got my own studio down here in my basement. Yeah. Ultimately, you know what I'm saying. Like I've always been an artist, but um, I also want to be an engineer. I've always wanted to do the behind the scenes stuff and make things sound good. So, what better way as a veteran who don't really have to do the everyday 9 to 5 grind like everybody else? I went to school and, I'm saying I'm loving it, man.
Oh, okay. And do you feel like
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Even the last couple things that I've dropped, um, they sound different just because of some of the things that I've learned over the last 3 4 months. My mixes are sounding better. So we in there.
Uh,
setup.
and you mentioned that you were in the army. What time was this?
I joined the army in what 2016, and I got out in 2021. I want to say. So about 5 years, some change. Um, and I'm medically retired. You know what I'm saying? Paid for the rest of my life. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Appreciate you, big dog. Um, and you know what I'm saying? I'm living and enjoying life.
Uh, and did you have any like major or traumatic experiences in the army that you went through?
That's a loaded question. The army itself is a traumatic experience from start to finish. Um, I wouldn't say anything. I'm not a combat veteran. You know what I'm saying? I am a proud veteran, but I'm not a combat veteran. I didn't go overseas and see action or anything like that. But life at home, you know what I'm saying, has its own ups and downs in the military. But I wouldn't necessarily call it trauma, but I definitely am a different person now than I was, prior to joining the army, though.
Oh, okay. And do you put any of those experiences into your music now?
Most definitely. The army, man, being in the army, I went through a lot of stuff in the outside of the army at the same time. So a lot of that stuff does make its way into my music. I got a freestyle to Kendrick's "Sing About Me," and I did my own freestyle to that. And I mentioned the army actually in that song, so it does make its way into my music from time to time.
Oh, okay. And were you also doing music while you were in the army?
Yeah, I always had my setup. I always had my computer. I always had my mic. So yeah, I wasn't dropping any music in the army, but I was always recording music.
Okay, so it's always been your passion and all.
Yeah, yeah, always. Ever since a kid, man. My mom got probably home videos, man, of me singing, rapping, and dancing. It's always been something I wanted to do. Music has always been part of my family. My mother sings, my father sang. You know what I'm saying? I played drums in the church. My mother sang at the church. So music has always been a part of my life in one way or another.
All right. You did a song called "Unfazed" featuring No Good.
Yeah, that's my that's my brother.
How did you guys like end up like just connecting to make that song happen?
Well, the song is a solo piece, unfazed. Something I did on my own. And when you listen to that last part where he is featured at, it was a voicemail that he sent me, and I placed the voicemail on the end of the song. So that's kind of where, as far as the feature part goes, that's where it goes. But that's all it was, man. That's how that came about. I wrote the song shortly after getting out the military, and after going through some nasty divorce and ugly stuff like that. So a lot of how I was feeling at the time, which was unfazed, went into that song and just kind of showing, I'm having fun. I don't care. Life is gonna be life. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. And he resonated with it because we were going through something similar. And his message that he sent me just made me happy as hell to hear. So I added it to the song.
Okay. Um, you also got a freestyle called "Sing About Me."
Yeah.
And like, what made you want to freestyle like pretty much a whole song and put it out?
Uh, you know, Again, I got it set up as one of my freestyles, but I mean, "Sing About Me" already, Kendrick's is already such a classic song. And it already spoke to me as the song that he did. But I was sitting here listening to the song one day, and I just put on the beat and just kind of sitting here messing around freestyling. And like again, the beat just spoke to me, bro. It pulled something out of me, and it pulled an emotion and a feeling out of me. And it was literally like magic sitting here writing it. I think it took me all of maybe 30 minutes to write that song, if even that. And it's literally just a little verse, but sitting here just going back and forth, pulling from my life experiences and things that I've gone through, and I put them on that song. And till this day, you know, since it's a cover, essentially I can't release it, but it's probably one of my most popular songs. that I have right now.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely was a fire song right there.
Appreciate it.
Um, you got another song called "Her," and I was gonna ask you who made the art cover.
Her, man, her is, ooh, that's digging back into the bag, man. Ah, I don't even remember her that well, bro. That's so far in my musical bag. That's on my YouTube, I believe.
Yeah,
That's Yeah, it's on my YouTube. Uh, bro, I don't know. I don't even know where I got it from. Honestly, it might have been some generic um thing that I pulled up. I'm trying to go to it now so I can see what you're talking about. Um, but yeah, I don't even remember, bro. Uh, I don't know where I pulled it from. Oh no, excuse me. Okay, I'm looking at it now. I'm sorry, bro. I had a friend in the army who does uh covers. That picture that you see of me on that cover is a picture of me standing at a bus stop, probably about 15 years prior. And I was getting ready to release a mixtape called Lost, which the mixtape never ended up coming out, but I did release that one song from it. But he designed that cover for me, so that's where that cover came from. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, it's a dope cover right there.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna
And
use it again in the future.
and what was the concept of that song?
Her talking about a woman, man. Just feeling the emotions of dealing with a woman and giving somebody too much and not getting enough back. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it was. Me being heartbroken over some chick I probably shouldn't have been heartbroken over in the first place.
Do you feel like you make better music when you go through like situations like that or relationships and all
It,
that?
it can definitely help. It's a motivation to get those thoughts off of my chest and out of my mind. It definitely does. Sometimes situations can be so problematic that sometimes I can't even get lyrics out. And sometimes I hit a roadblock. Sometimes, um, but for the most part, the fact that I draw all of my music from my real life it definitely helps.
Yeah, most def. And any projects that you're about to drop coming soon?
Um, I don't necessarily have any projects right now. I'm working on a series of freestyles I'm about to drop. While I'm working on an album, actually. So that's getting ready to happen. Start working on this album, and then I'm just gonna be dropping freestyles and singles. But no real project at this moment that I have that's about to come out.
Dropping singles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I said, my main focus for that is just to keep buzz, keep me in people's ears, keep people talking about me, keep them anticipating what I'm going to drop, what's coming next. So as long as I keep hitting them over the head with music, weekly and monthly while I'm working on the album. And then who knows, I might drop a LP or EP sometime in between that. So it's all up in the air right now.
All right. What was your mindset like?
Say it again.
What were you like thinking about when you dropped the Red Riding Hood?
Um, a series of women that I have dealt with that have all experienced similar situations, as far as assault and SA and stuff like that. And this was a a story for those women getting their revenge, getting a get back, getting a payback. Because too often times, women sit in silence about these things and don't talk about them. It's not taken seriously, and sometimes the people who perpetrate these things get away and get off. So that was kind of my tribute to women to say, hey, somebody see you, somebody hear you, and we're gonna get your get back here. So, and it may or may not be based on a series of real events, but yeah.
Gotcha. Can you talk about City Roots TV?
City Roots, man. I came through City Roots on Instagram, man. Just posting my music, posting videos. I was posting those freestyles. Someone reached out about doing promo, and I just started talking to them, and I was looking at what they were doing, and they were kind of building their little brand over there. One thing led to another, and we started working together. So I think they were posting me like every Friday. They were doing, free photo shoots for artists and interviews and stuff like that. And as an up and coming artist, what better way to get yourself out there with a little bit of promo that's not expensive, that wasn't expensive, and that actually got me into the eyes of a few people. So that's where that relationship is at.
All right. Have you done any live performances lately?
I had one last month at your mom's house in Denver. That's the name of the club. Every time I say that, people are like, "What?" But that's the name of the club. It's called Your Mom's House. I did a show with what four or five other acts. I um, opened up for Empty Skies. We had Toon Mac in the building, K Towns, Ivory. I might be missing another person or two, but no, it was a good live show. I did a 20-minute set, which was perfect. It went well, good exposure, gained a lot of fans, and I hope to be doing more shows coming up here soon.
Okay. And you would consider yourself like
Uh, yeah, like I said, I've been on stage for a long time, man. I think my first actual performance on stage, man, I was 14 or 15 years old, and it's like as far as performing like my music. But if you want to take it back further than that, I've been playing drums since I was 10 or 11. I've been on stage that long, like playing in front of people. So I'm already used to the crowds. I'm used to the atmosphere. I'm used to the lights. I'm used to the noise. So transferring over now, doing my own thing with all of that experience behind me, man, I'm more than capable of doing a tour and killing it, man, at any level at this point. Yeah. Like I said, the crowds get bigger, but the vibe never changes. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing is the crowd just there's more people out there. But as far as the feeling of being on stage and going out there, it's all the same.
okay. And do you make your own beats?
No, I don't. I'm currently in the process of actually, playing around with making my own stuff now, but most of the time I just, I hit up producers and beat makers and we chop it up, and that's how I get down right now. I don't have one person right now that I depend on. I do have a mixing and a mastering guy that I highly depend on. One of my homeboys I went to school with, Covey Fox. Check him out. CovaYFOX. Covey Fox. He does some of my mixing and mastering, and that's my boy. But as far as a producer and stuff right now, and beat makers and stuff, I don't have anybody that I depend on solely. For me, it's more about a sound, and if I can find a couple different people that kind of have similar sounds, but with their own little funk on it, that's kind of what I'm going for.
All right. And what image are you trying to put out to the people?
Lyricism, man, real rap, like having fun and enjoying life, but being real at the same time. You know, if you go through my catalog, there's no gun bars, there's no drug bars, there's no run up in your house ski mask bars on, you know what I'm saying? Now, while I can 100% rap about that and it would 100% be my real life, um I mean, the pool is full of that already, man. So what need is it? I want to show the image of that. We can go back to just real rap, having fun, real lyrics, stuff that's going to stick around 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. None of this, one hit wonder on and off type stuff, man.
Right. It's like everyone's on the same like wave and all that, same type of rap.
Yeah. Everybody's doing the same thing, man. The tempo's the same. They sound the same. Like sometimes it's hard to differentiate. People be telling me, "Oh, that's this person, that's this," but they all sound the same. So it's like I don't even know. An era of rap where things were hard. You know what I'm saying? Nelly, Ludacris, DMX, Snoop, um, what you talking about? 50 Cent, Eminem. Like you're looking at everybody had a different sound, their own sound, but they were all doing great. As where now everybody biting each other. Nobody has any uniqueness, originality to themselves anymore.
No time, no time, no time to prove what. No time, no time, no time.
Fuck all that, nigga. We turn it up, so I just had to rebuild the studio from scratch.
Like all my life type shit. But
Yeah.
You already know that dank straight gas.